Hey, thanks for tuning in today to episode 34 of 2.5 Chicks. Today, we're bringing in a fresher, younger perspective by interviewing Brie. She's a young woman in her 20s, and she talks to us about life in her 20s, so we can compare it to life in our 50s. It's interesting talking to her about relationships and love and what she's experienced and what's gone right and what's gone wrong and what she's learned from it. We ask questions about her background and her relationship with her parents, and we end up talking about some societal issues like gender-neutral language. We go on to offer her some practical supportive advice, but it's not unsolicited. She's interested. She wants to know what these older people have to say. And then we end with a really nice, positive outlook that our future may be in really capable hands with people like Brie around. So tune in. It's an interesting conversation. Welcome back to 2.5 Chicks. It's me, Tess, and Monica, and Brian.
Hello.
Hi.
And today we have a guest with us, Brie. And Brie is female in her 20s. And I'm going to let Brian give any other information because Brie was Brian's guest.
Okay, so I met Brie briefly through her mother. Her mother, for all of you listeners, was the very first person I went out on a date with in Reno. And turned out that I was not masculine enough for her. So I brought on her daughter so I could badmouth her mother.
You did not.
I'm just kidding. But Brie is the daughter of a good friend of mine. That's basically how it works. Brie, you want to talk about yourself a little bit? Tell us about yourself, what you do, what you like to do.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brie. I'm from Los Angeles in California. I'm 23. I'm about to be 24 in July. And right now I'm in between jobs. I was working as a journalist at a local newspaper. And right now I'm studying to get my master's. So right now I'm just grinding, going with the flow.
So she broke. That's just one broke-ass broad right there.
When in July, Brie?
July 21st.
All right. So, gosh, you're right on the cusp.
Yeah, but I am a Cancer.
You're talking about horoscopes, right?
Yeah. I am sorry. I'm July. I had to find out if we were the same.
Oh, when's your birthday?
The 6th.
Oh, okay. You're a Cancer as well.
Two Cancers.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, Tess. That's my granddaughter's birthday.
Oh, yeah. It's a good day.
July 6th, 2021.
Well, that's cool.
And then her half-brother is on July 21st.
Oh, wow.
And oh my God, that's funny.
That is funny.
This is how the cosmic, karmic universe all entangles itself. So Monica and I are going on a cruise this year, and the woman that I booked the cruise with had a boy and a girl, daughter and her son. Her son's birthday was on Monica's birthday, and her daughter's birthday was on my birthday.
Wow. That is funny.
It's hysterical how people entwine. That is funny.
So, Monica, I have one thing to say about that. I don't know how you celebrate your granddaughter's birthday right now, but because my birthday was always celebrated with 4th of July parties, now I'm at the point in my life, well, I have been for many years, that if I don't see fireworks, I don't feel like I had a birthday. I don't know if that's something you're starting with your grandkid, but that's kind of how it is for me.
We haven't done that yet. No, we didn't do it for her last year. She just turned 1.
But before we go into it with Brie, I just had to tell you, so you brought up fireworks. I was in Mexico a couple weeks ago, and we were staying at a resort, and me and Em were having relations. And as the minute of my climax, literally fireworks went off. It was outside. So I basically gave her the flex pose and everything like that. And I said, yeah, I bet you no one else has ever delivered fireworks before. So
fireworks that were actually
awesome.
real fireworks. So the next morning, we went downstairs and we were talking and I work with all these people for crying out loud, but I told them the whole story and all the wives thought it was hysterical. All the guys were like, I can't believe you just told that story. I was like, they were so jealous. It was ridiculous. All right, Brie. So let's talk to you now. Let's get some questions up for Brie. She gave us some topics that she likes to discuss. Anybody come up with any questions for her? Because I came up with a whole bunch.
Go ahead. You start, Brian.
All right, sure. All right, you ready, Brie, for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So let me just say this. I was going to say, what's your heritage? What's your culture?
So I'm half Mexican, half Salvadorian.
Yeah.
Monica.
To the Salvadorian side.
Yes. So Monica, as everybody knows, is Salvadorian.
100%.
Oh, wow.
So who do you feel like? What'd you say? Let's go clean?
No, I said Salvi.
Brian.
Oh, sorry. Salvi Queens. Okay.
Is your father Salvadorian or your mother?
My dad.
So who do you feel like you lean towards more? Do you feel like you're more Mexican or Salvadorian?
I guess Mexican, because I spend more time with that side of the family.
That makes sense.
Monica, do you feel Salvadorian?
Yeah, because my mother is. But I understand that. For the most part, Latinos tend to lean towards their mother's family.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised.
All right, you good cook?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. This is for all the guys listening out there.
No, I tell them that I only know how to cook vegetarian, vegan food, and I don't think that's good for any of them.
So basically, you know how to put carrots and celery on a plate?
Are you vegetarian and vegan?
Not strictly, but I don't trust myself to cook meat. Like today, my mom was showing me how to make chicken, and she was like, you just have to make sure it's not like gelatin-like, and that's how you know when it's cooked. But I don't know. I feel like if I cooked it, it'd still be raw, and I'd be scared to eat it.
So your mom she's old school, right? She still cut the head off the chicken and pluck it and do all that stuff from scratch? No?
No, she went to Costco.
I was asking because if you were a vegan, vegetarian, Mexican, Salvadorian, American, you are a very rare person indeed.
Oh yeah, that would be hard.
Yeah.
Especially family parties. I would feel rude to deny that food.
Like lots of meat.
So how is the relationship with your parents?
I'm definitely closer with my mom. We can talk about anything. But my dad, he's kind of on the colder side. He's not very affectionate. I mean, now I'm living with him right now. So now I guess I can see that he's trying. And
Shit, you got a curfew?
no, he's not strict like that. He's never been like like those dads that are like overprotective, or like when I'm dating a guy, he's not like, I'm going to kill you. Don't touch my daughter. like he's never been that way. He's just he's always been very detached to himself. And so I'm closer with my mom.
Okay.
Would you say he's introverted?
I don't
Maybe.
know, because when we go to parties and stuff, he's able to let loose and socialize. But I think it's hard for him to display affection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the alcohol that loosens him up?
Yeah, it's probably that.
Okay.
Now, is he first generation Salvadorian or was he born here?
He's first generation.
Okay, so he was born in El Salvador. What age did he migrate here?
I'm not sure. Probably around in like mid-20s, I think.
Okay.
Does you and your mom have a really close relationship? Do you talk to her about relationships and sex and stuff like that?
For the most part, yeah. Not really sex details, but she knows like everyone like I've been with and stuff.
Did she give you the talk?
She did give me the talk when I remember when I was really little, like maybe like 8 or 9, that I know we go to church and they say to wait till marriage. And she said, but you don't have to wait till marriage because I think it's important that you test. And then I was just really confused.
Very
Good for her. Good for her.
For mom.
I'm
I hope she
very
told you to
proud
wait
of
till
her.
you were old enough.
Yeah, she didn't say when.
Very,
No, that's
very
good. You're validating me, Brie, because I started talking to my son very young as well, and people thought I was crazy. So
No, that's
your mom's
awesome.
validating me.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
my mom has always been very open about like sex conversations. And for me, it's weird. Like one time I walked in on my parents when they were together. And then the next morning she was like, I know what you saw and it's okay. And I was just like, Mom, I don't want to talk about it.
Were you really young or older?
No, I was older. I was probably like 15 or 16.
I was just saying, I thought you were going to tell me like 20. I was like, wow.
No, but yeah, she has no
Way to
shame.
go, Mom.
Yeah, that's great.
Good for her. Good for
Yeah,
her.
because we had an episode where I talked about walking in on my parents when I was younger. My mom didn't talk to me for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
I brought it up to her years later, and I said,
Oh.
man, you didn't talk to me for 2 weeks. She says, well, I was freaking embarrassed. What you want me to say? I was like, talk to me about it. Tell me I wasn't crazy for walking in on you for you not locking doors. So your mom did the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Absolutely. I was going to ask, have you listened to our podcast before?
Yes, I listened to one episode today.
Okay.
It was on opposite, dating your opposite.
The relationships episode.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
What is it that you were interested in talking about with us? Do you have any topics that you wanted to cover with us?
Nothing specific.
Well, I think what we are very much interested in is knowing what dating is like. You're in your 20s, correct?
Yes.
You said 23, 24, 20.
Yeah.
We're going on 24.
Yeah, 23 going on. Yep. So I think, that's one of the things we were interested in is what is dating like now? And because we did an episode in our first season about dating in our 50s. So be kind of interesting to hear what dating is like for you, for your age group. And maybe we can just kind of jump off there and add some questions in as we go. So I'm just wondering, like, what is dating like in your 20s today? Because it's probably very different than it is for us in our 50s in, the way it is today. So what's that like for you?
Yeah. Today, dating is very much, dating apps. is a big thing that everyone's using, especially my friends. Personally, I've tried to avoid dating apps, but I feel like a big problem for everyone is just kind of how dating is very much revolved around like hookup culture. So, or like situationships, that's what everyone calls it. Like you think it's becoming a romantic relationship, but then it ends up just being physical.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
They call that one night stands when we were young.
Yeah,
where
that's a
girls
good
thought it was heading somewhere and it really wasn't.
Yeah, but I guess it's not really a one night stand because you see each other frequently, like I guess maybe a few times a week. So it's like you're basically dating, but you're not, like without the label, because you're still seeing other people.
So you're having sex, but you're not exclusive.
Yeah,
it's not like you're going out and having sex with anybody else. You're just. Or are you still having sex with other people? Not you. I mean, in your age bracket.
Yeah. I think maybe the guys are having sex with other people, but the girls are looking to be exclusive. But then they stick to that connection because they really like them and they hope that eventually they'll want to be together.
Okay, that's as old as time.
I was thinking the same thing, Tess. Yeah.
That happens with our age.
That's normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. I think it's in a lot of ways, it's a male-female dynamic, which is kind of sad, but yeah.
It is sad.
Yeah, so now
what are you looking for? Are you looking for, like, would you like a relationship or are you just looking to have fun right now?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Lately I've been going on dates and there is someone I'm seeing that it feels serious and it's making me kind of scared. I was in a long-term relationship a year ago. We were together almost 3 years. So I think being in that, it just made me kind of like, I guess, who I was in that relationship, I'm scared of that happening again. I was very codependent and I was very insecure and I just lost a big part of myself. So I guess I'm scared of jumping into something else and having that happen again.
Mm-hmm. That happens.
And that's fair because anybody that's ever seen Brie, I told her mom, like, she's a smoke show. Like, this girl is beautiful.
Thank you.
Right? So you're welcome. And even women or, men, anybody, as attractive as they are, they don't see it sometimes. And we all have our insecurities, right? Like, here's this person I looked at and I was like, oh my God, this girl can have any guy she wants. And she still has her own insecurities. So thank you for sharing that. It's a very, very true statement.
Yeah.
I think it's very common after getting out of a long-term relationship to feel like you've lost yourself and to want to have someone in your life, but to not lose yourself in it again. It's very easy to do.
Yeah.
So when you're dating somebody else, are you recognizing, like you said, you recognize you don't want to be that same person? What happens if you feel like you're starting to fall into that same pattern?
So I have been seeing some patterns. Like, for example, so this guy, he has his own place. So sometimes I sleep over. And that was a big thing in my relationship. Like, we'd have a lot of sleepovers and we'd end up like doing nothing, just like chilling in bed, watching movies all day. And so I saw that happening recently with this new guy. And I'm just like, I don't want this to happen. I don't want to be lazy and just end up doing nothing, not going on dates anymore, not
taking each other for granted and just being like falling into a friend zone. You mean? You said nothing's happening. So you're just watching movies and falling asleep?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't want to get too comfortable. Like, I want to still like have fun, go out and like present our best selves, not just be like in pajamas and lazy. And
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. You want to have fun. You haven't, in your years, you haven't had enough fun where you just get sick of having so much fun.
Yeah.
Do you have friends that you like to go out, that you like to all spend time together with when you go out?
Oh yeah, I have. I have two very close friends, but I have not a big, but like there's 6 of us. But yeah, that was a big realization after my relationship, like how much fun I could have with my friends. I think I spent so much time with my ex that I forgot about my friends. I basically abandoned them, and so.
Oh.
Yeah, going out with them again was like, wait, I'm having so much fun, like more fun than I've ever had with him, with my friends.
Well, wait, was it more fun or was it different kind of fun?
I guess it was different kind of fun. Like, I'm sure the fun I had with my ex was like fun at first, but then it just got monotonous. So.
Okay.
Well, that's what I was going to say is when you said that you were just hanging out all day watching TV in your pajamas, you're thinking, I'm doing this because I'm with this person, but this wouldn't be what I choose to do otherwise. I'm only doing it because I'm with this person. And that's kind of where you feel like you're losing yourself, right? Or
yeah.
No?
Yeah. What I was going to say before was that, like, Tess and Brian and I, like, when we have a relationship at our age, we'd like to have a little bit of fun, but we don't need that much fun because we've already had our large percentage of fun in our earlier years. And you You're so young. You haven't had that?
And I'm just laughing when you said we don't need to have that much fun. I was like, I do.
Me and Tess were like, oh man, fun is I know what you mean, though, Monica. I get it.
We're okay with just staying home, and
yes,
is what I mean. We don't need to go out to parties and clubs all the time.
Right.
Like
when you said sitting around,
that's what I meant.
When you said Bree sitting around in your pajamas watching Netflix, I was like, oh, that sounds awesome.
Exactly. We appreciate that more now because we had that type of fun when we were younger. So, and I'm not saying we don't want to ever have fun. We do. Like, I'm thinking about when I go on this cruise, I just want to go dancing. But I'm just saying for your years, you're only 23. You haven't had as much fun as you really, really wanted to have, where you actually, don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
So I can understand why you just want to have fun. You can have fun.
If you were giving advice to her, what would you say right now, Monica?
And I don't like giving advice too much, but I would say don't worry about needing to be in a relationship right now. Just have fun. Because in that having fun and going out and being on your own, you get to know yourself, you get to know your friends, you get to know what you like, what you don't like. And you actually are building your self-confidence more by doing that. So that when you finally get to have a relationship or you're ready for a relationship, you're more centered. You know yourself better. And you'll just be more ready for a relationship, and you won't get bored of the relationship and wonder what else is out there. Yeah,
that's fair. How about you, Tess? What would you say?
For me, I would say it's about balance. I mean, I think what I was hearing from you is going too much one way wasn't fun, right? And you weren't seeing your friends or anything. So if you want to have someone in your life, you can have someone in your life, but it's about balance. It's about having fun, and it's about having intimate time, and it's about having, closeness, but it's not all one thing or the other.
Yeah, that's great advice, because I feel like when I jump into a relationship, I put them on a pedestal. And I start to revolve my life around them. And I schedule my, activities around them. And
easy to do.
On the topic of having fun, that's something that I feel like I struggle with, because I don't really drink. I don't like drinking. I'll do it every once in a while to just let loose and, be more social. But I'm not like a heavy drinker, at like my friends level. I'm always the designated driver. But I never, I've only been to one club in my life, I guess. And I have been to a few bars. So it's I don't know if I'm not having fun the right way, but there are other things that I like to do, like going out, on hikes and taking walks and, just being out in nature. But then I'm like, should I also just be out clubbing, even though I'm not really drawn to it? So I guess I'm just am I living my 20s right?
There's no should. Brian, did you have advice?
This isn't my advice. I would say this. Brie, I think you're doing it right. I think that, first of all, I would tell you, don't make some dude a priority. You're too young for this. I would say you're at the age right now where you have a set of girlfriends. Make sure you're old enough to choose your friends, right? Sometimes they fall upon you in school and you kind of get stuck with people. But as you get older, you get to choose your friends. And as you choose these people, I always go back to the saying, it's hard to soar like an eagle when you're surrounded by turkeys. So you surround yourself with good people. And then if they want to go clubbing, you go out and then you enjoy yourself and you look out for each other and, do what you want to do. Have fun. I wouldn't say that this guy thing, I would worry about at your age, finding my work, because you don't want to work till you're 80 years old. I would concentrate on your education and on your friends. And then the guy, if that's your preference, comes later.
And I would also add, if you do have a boyfriend and your boyfriend starts telling you that you can't hang out with your friends or go out and have fun with your friends, that's a red flag.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a red flag. He should respect that you need to go out and experience life and trust you. And if he can't do that, that's a red flag.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. I would say spend more time with older guys in their 50s and hang out with them and see where that leads.
Ryan! Oh my God. Oh, it's something else I wanted to add. You said that you want to go out and have fun clubbing, but you're not drawn to it. I think that's because we have sometimes we have images in our head of what we think it should be fun in your youth. And it's not, that's experience is not for everyone. So find the experiences that make you happy, that make you really have fun, whatever they may be, and do that now while you're still young. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. If you don't like it, that's okay.
Yeah, I like that.
And make sure you bring condoms with you. Because
you never know, right, Brian?
That's right. Exactly.
You never know.
You never know. Keep the condoms with you. I know it sounds weird, like, oh, I'm not that person. You never know when that moment is going to happen. You might be out hiking or doing something with your friends. Maybe it's your turn to do something fun, and your fun is hiking, where your friends always say, I want to go to a club. And you say, I always go to the club. I always drive you guys around. I want to go hiking. Well, guess what? You go hiking, and then you meet the guy of your dreams on a hike. You better have a condom in that backpack.
What do you like to do for fun?
For fun, I like roller skating, ice skating. I really like, I guess, like physical activity. Like I would like dancing, but I'm too shy for dancing. It's something I want to work on. I think that's why I'm turned off by clubs, because I know that like if I went into a club, I'd just be focused on, feeling awkward and
I hear you right there, Brie, because unfortunately, there's a large percentage of Latinos who dance really well. Mm-hmm. And when you're not one of that, high percentage, they really pick on you a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not a bad dancer. I'm
Try
just
to be
happy
a
I have
white
rhythm.
dude.
I know, but I don't dance like my cousins. I don't dance like my cousins and my sister. They're really good dancers. So what happens is that when we're in family parties, I don't dance in front of them. I'm sorry. I don't mean this to be racist, but I actually just dance with my white friends.
Yep. Because she does a really good job around her white friends.
I don't feel judged there. So I get you, Brie.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never chalked it up to like, being Latina, but that makes sense because I do compare myself.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Don't. Mm-hmm. You go out there and dance like nobody's watching. It's just an old saying, but that's what you got to do. As long as you're having fun, you could just be swaying to the music. It doesn't matter. Go and do the things that make you happy.
Well, I'm with Brie on this one. I struggle with that as well, big time. I'm not very free with my body in public.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah, I know, but it's still putting a lot of yourself out there for me.
Everybody else on that dance floor is putting themselves out there, right?
I know. But maybe it's because I don't have enough confidence in, like, I feel like I need to learn to dance, but I get how she feels. Yeah. If that's something you can get over young, you can have a lot more fun.
See, Brie, we all have these hang-ups.
Yeah, I like it when places are dark and they have all the strobe lights so they can't tell that you can't dance.
Oh, yeah.
Go to those places.
Monica likes to see people have seizures.
And it is true that nobody really cares what you're doing,
Yeah.
And half the time, like when my husband's a musician and I go to his music shows and there's always people dancing and I look and I think, gosh, I might be watching somebody and they might be thinking I'm judging them, but I'm really admiring them for having the guts to get out there and do all that, to move like that and put themselves out there. So
I would say that's true for a club, in a club situation, Tress, but not in a family situation. The Latin family situation, you're being judged.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what else do you like to do?
What else do I like? I like reading. I like writing, exercising. Mm-hmm. I do like cooking. Just like I said,
vegetables.
Like vegan food.
Not meat.
Yeah, vegetables, not meats. But yeah, I guess just very wholesome activities. That's really what fulfills me.
So you sound like this like perfect catch, by the way. I'm just letting you know.
I feel like I'm a grandma.
No.
Like the things I like doing.
I'm telling you, some guy is going to be, or some gal, whichever way you want to swing, is going to be very happy one day. I'm telling you, you're ahead of your time right now.
Well, that's good to hear. I appreciate that.
I'm going to actually follow it up with this, though, because we talked about this in the past, right? So I'm just going to let you know, this guy's really like a lady in the street, but a freak in the bed. So as long as you could take it to Pound Town properly, I think you're way ahead of the curve.
Oh, she doesn't have any comment for that, Brian, and I don't blame her.
I wouldn't know what to say.
I'm just shaking
So let's
my
just
head.
put that under the advice category, Brie. He's giving you some advice.
Yeah, that's how I was taking it.
Okay.
And you know what? I think, I have to say, unfortunately, he's totally right. That is what men like.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like that's something I figured out very young. I started using Tinder when I was like 15 or 16.
What?
Because during that time, they allowed you to be, I think the limit was 13 or 14 years old, which is crazy.
For Tinder.
That's nuts.
Because Tinder's the hookup site, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Monica, were you on Tinder years ago?
No, Brian. Can you imagine if I had it at my age, like 13 years old?
Yeah, at the time, I didn't know it was a hookup thing. I thought it was just like dating. Because I've always been very shy. And so like dating was hard for me when I was younger. And so I didn't know how to talk to guys. So I was like, let me try this app.
Wait a minute. Were you meeting up with these guys?
Yes.
Oh, Maron.
They weren't older, were they? Or were they just young guys?
No, they were around my age. Like they wouldn't let you go older. Yeah, no.
Okay, good.
There was a bunch of them on there too. A bunch of people your age then.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. If you say that you're shy and it's not easy to date, how's it easier online? Because you're just are you just responding to someone else reaching out to you? Like how's it different online than in person if you're shy? Because I haven't done a lot of dating online, so I'm just curious. Yeah,
that's actually why I stopped using dating apps now, because I noticed that I would be my online persona was so different than my real life one. So I didn't like I didn't like disappointing guys by being shy in real life. So now I try not to use dating apps, but back then it was easier for me because, like I said, I didn't really know how to respond to guys when they would approach me, or I didn't know when they were flirting with me or whatever. And
in person.
Yeah. Okay. But now I would say, with work, it's easier to meet guys. But back then this was in high school. And I think guys never really approached me because I was just on the quiet side. I really hid myself.
You were out of their league, trust me. That's why they weren't approaching you. It's intimidating for guys to go up to beautiful women. It's not easy. There's only a few of us left in the world that can do this. Thank you.
There's a few of us.
Thank you. Thank you for noticing.
Brian, your head is filling up the whole screen.
Yes, I don't think any women intimidate you, Brian.
Do all your friends? How are they when they're dating? Do you notice differences in your friends? One of them is like the floozy. One of them is just like you. One of them, just likes to have fun. Do you have friends like that? Is it does it run the gambit?
Yeah, we're all different, I would say. I have some friends that are virgins, some that are floozy, some that are gay, some that are in committed relationships. There's all. Okay. Everyone's different. And then one is actually, I think she's going to be, or she's planning on, her and her partner are planning on getting engaged. So
it's young. She's 23?
Yeah, she's 23.
I mean, if they feel it's right, but that is young.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, would you say partner? This is a female-female relationship?
No, it's her boyfriend. I say partner.
They call them partners still? Okay.
It's just modern language, I guess.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's correct. Gen Z is not
behind the time.
Yeah, Gen Z talks with them as like a gender neutral.
Oh no! Don't tell me you got hims and theys, or theys and theirs.
I mean, not in my friend group, but it's just something you have to adjust to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's part of the way they talk, so it's normal for them. It's not like us where we forget all the time, like at our age group, because it's ingrained in us. But
I don't forget, Monica. I just refuse.
I forget. I forget.
When my son was going to high school, which was just recently, he said to me, "Mom, 50% of the girls in my school are bisexual. It's so normal. Everything's very normal now to the younger generation."
So, Brie, I would like to ask you, what would you think is your ideal partner?
I would say someone that I feel comfortable being myself around, isn't judgmental. Because in the past, I would date very judgmental guys. They would do it in a joking way, but at the end of the day, I would end up feeling insecure because of those jokes. So I guess someone I feel safe and comfortable around, and they're funny, they're caring, and they're not afraid to be affectionate.
What's your age limit here?
I don't know, I guess.
What's too old? Tell me, what's too old?
I guess 5 or 6 years older than me.
Okay. That's fair.
That's a good amount.
I think that's a good age too. Mm-hmm. I think everybody should have an age limit. You got to have something in the realm of, compatibility. I'm sorry. 6 years older for Brie. Yes, they still have the same kind of interest. They still understand the same pop culture. It all kind of makes
similar
sense.
Place in life. Yeah.
I mean, I know someone who was 60 years old and dated a 25-year-old. I think that was just
oh my gosh.
Can you imagine dating someone that was born when you were 35?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Creepy.
Well, when I'm 65, I'll let you know if I think it's creepy. Maybe my number might change then.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Brian. Maybe because you need her to take care of you at that point, Brian.
Hey, I'm okay with that.
Like, just take care of you, like health-wise.
I'm okay with that.
For having fun, it doesn't matter. But for life partnership, it kind of, for me, does.
For me, it does too. I agree, Tess.
So, Brie, do you feel like on a scale of 1 to 10, how crazy do you think you are? That's a legitimate question for the guy listeners out there. You seem pretty normal to me. You seem like a 2.
I would
10
say
being the craziest. Like you need a padded room.
I would say 5, just to keep
Really?
it balanced.
So you're in a mid-range.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what makes you a 5? Is it like female craziness, like your general female
Are
craziness?
you jealous?
I would say jealous and like insecurities, but this is based on my past relationship, what I saw in myself, and I definitely had moments, so that's why I would give myself a 5.
Well, that could be based on being with somebody that didn't bring out the best in you, but not necessarily who you are.
That's right.
That is true.
Yep. Let me ask you this. When you're around your friends, how do you feel? Like, do you feel like you're still a 5 when you're around your friends?
No, with my friends, I don't think I've ever had like a fight with my friends at all.
Yeah, so it's got to be like you said, Tess. You hit the nail on the head. The person that you were with was bringing it out of her.
Yeah, that is true. He was very like avoidant attachment. So that's not good for me. I feel like I was very insecure. I felt insecure a lot.
Do you know what your attachment is, style?
I would say anxious attachment.
Yeah, anxious and avoidant are not good together because I heard somebody say in a audiobook I was reading the other day that anxious attachment people are afraid of what happens if there's space, and avoidant people are afraid of what happens if there's not space. That's completely opposing.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
But this is a good lesson for you, Brie. So you need to find a guy out there that makes you feel like a 2 in the crazy world and not in the looks world.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Make sure you can act the way you are. See, my girlfriend now, my partner, she lets me be me to the umpteenth degree. There is nothing I can't say or do in front of this person, and I don't worry about what's coming out of my mouth. I just am who I am, and that's why we get along so well.
Yeah, that's a big deal. So when Brian was throwing out some potential topics to talk about, one of them that came up was self-care. I was very interested in that coming up from somebody your age. So I'm very interested in what you mean by self-care.
Yeah, so like I've always read like self-help books ever since I was, I don't know, very young. It's something I've been interested in, self-improvement. I'm always listening to like podcasts or watching YouTube videos on the topic. And then even here at my mom's, I've been working on this workbook called like shadow work. So I think just focusing on like, your emotional well-being is just something just very important to me. And not just like mentally, but also like physical self-care, making sure that you get enough sleep, you're eating the right foods, working out and hanging out with the right people. So yeah, I'm just very passionate.
I just have to say that I'm in awe of the fact that you were thinking about this at 23, because it's so good
the same thing.
That you're thinking about this now, because it's going to make such a difference as you get older. I wish I had been doing that at 23, because it's just so important. So I'm in awe of the fact that you are thinking about this right now and have been for a while.
Yeah, I'm wishing that all the women I was with when I was in my 20s were reading that book.
Not that you wish you had done it, Brian, but the women you were with had done it. Yeah, and I'm in a whole health coaching program right now, Brie, and you just touched every subject that you just touched on, or everything that you just mentioned is in my program. So it's very interesting. Dealing with the aspects of yourself that are hidden. They call them dark places because they're things you have to address, right?
Yeah, it's things that I guess affect you I don't know how to describe it, but it's things that are like unconscious, like you're not entirely aware of, but yet they affect you on a day-to-day basis. So it's like you have to reflect on, I guess,
they appear. They appear when you kind of don't expect them to. And when a situation happens and your reaction isn't what's warranted for that situation, it makes you go, oh, there's something deeper here. Mm-hmm. So yeah, very interesting. It's very progressive, very mature. There's not a lot of people in their early 20s that have a growth mindset like you do. I think it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Did kids have bracelet parties?
What's a bracelet party?
Remember when they have different bracelets for what they'll do differently? Does that still happen?
No.
I think that was a millennial thing, Gen Y.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
God, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, neither have I.
I heard of it years ago.
thought that was
Wow.
that was groundbreaking.
That might actually just be a small group of people that advertise it somewhere and everybody thought everybody was doing it. But
you have to remember, everybody under the age of 40 is young to me. So
Yeah.
I don't know what generation what is anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
Makes sense.
the millennials are now in their early 40s.
So what's 23?
That's a Gen Z.
Okay, what does Gen Z mean?
So I don't know why it started with Generation X, but I know there was the silent generation, which were the people who were born in like the 30s, maybe early 40s. And then the baby boomers were the people who were born like right after World War II, right? We know why they were called the baby boomers.
Yep.
Then starting in 1964, like about 20-ish years after the baby boomers, that's when the Gen Xers started to come into existence. We are Gen X generation for sure. I think Gen X they stopped calling Gen X after you were born if you were born after 1981, you are a Generation Y. It's easy to understand why they called it Generation Y because Gen X, Gen Y. And then Gen Z Gen Y was from early 1980s to like 1996, 97.
Those generations are getting shorter.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too, because it's becoming popular now.
And then I think Gen Z is about 1998 to 2010. Yeah, those born, but it's the year of your
only
birth.
12 years.
And then after a certain... No, I think it was more. I'm sorry. I might be wrong in the years, so
I'm not going to quote you on it.
Take me to task for the years.
So what's a millennial?
But I do know millennial is Gen Y.
So I feel like anybody born after 1981 is a millennial.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. But definitely at 23, she is considered Gen Z. And then from what I understand, kids who are born now, like my granddaughter, she's not called Gen Z. I think the new generation is called Gen Alpha.
Wow. That was a clap.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I don't know. I guess they're starting now again with the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but they're doing it with the Greek letters.
Interesting.
Wow.
Somebody was saying to me the other day, like, can you imagine if somebody's Gen Alpha and then the Gen Beta is born, how the Gen Alphas are going to, bully the Gen Betas?
Yeah, pick on them. Start to belittle them and think that they don't work hard and everything. They expect everything to be hand-given to them. It's so funny. I had a shit ton of sex questions, but now getting to know Brie, I don't even want to ask them.
Doesn't seem quite right, does it?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm open to them. Like I said,
No, I'm not even going to put you on the spot.
I'm also curious, what kind of journalism are you interested in?
When I was working at the newspaper, I was working on like city government related stories, and I didn't like that. I'm just doing it for the experience. But like for my dream job, it would be something like a lifestyle, like psychology, like magazine, something focused on like mental health and wellness, because I am passionate about this stuff.
That's awesome.
That makes sense with what you were saying about self-care.
Yeah, it's a passion of mine, so that'd be a dream job.
See, here I had high aspirations. When I got told that she was a journalist, I'm like, she's going to be doing interviews on the sideline of a football game. I'm going to get tickets. I don't know. I want to take care of everybody's mental health. Like, son of a bitch.
Good for you, Brie.
No, sports is the last thing I'd ever do.
Oh, shit. And that was it for our guest, Brie. We'd like to thank her for coming on. No sports, no sex talk. Oh, I'm out.
One day she may become like a motivational speaker that goes all over the country or over the world, and she could say that she was on our show.
That's
got
right.
Inspiration from us.
That's why I don't want to say anything that's going to incriminate her later on.
Okay.
So, Brie, you have any other questions for us? Not even like, how hard is it to get out of bed in your 50s? Or, does hair grow where you don't want it to?
If you could give advice to your 23-year-old self, what would you say?
Stop worrying about what other people say.
That's a good one. I always say to myself, I better have my education. By 23 years old, I would have hoped I would have had my master's degree by now, because I go into this all the time. Having a job where you have now you're not college educated and having to worry about finding another job without the piece of paper drives me mad to this day. So I would have beaten myself senseless to get an education. That's the first and foremost thing. I got to tell you all the other things. I probably would have said I maybe should have wore a condom more. But education is for me, Brie. That's what I would have beaten myself up over.
Okay.
Monica?
And I'm sorry, Brian, I interrupted a little bit before then, but
It's
just
okay.
to
No worries.
finish, I would not worry so much about what others thought of me. And I'm not saying that just to go around being a jerk to people or treating them badly. I do believe you should always treat people, approach as many people as you can with kindness, but just not worry about what they really think about me. Because that really affected how I felt for most of my life. I would tell my younger self not to do that.
For me, I would say to any young person or my younger self, figure out who you are and what makes you happy before you start taking on the responsibilities of life. Because I know for me, I didn't do that. I didn't figure out what really was going to make me happy in life. And I fell into a career and then I, got an instant family. And I think that you really need to take the time to get to know who you are and what makes you happy before you start complicating your life with responsibility, because it'll make you happier in the long term.
Thank you, guys. That's all great advice.
Pass it on to your friends.
I'll tell them.
And if there's any of them that want to talk about sex, tell them to come on the show.
Yeah, some of those. Brian wants to hear from some of your floozy friends.
Yeah.
Fine, bring on the cozy ones.
Yeah.
This made me happy. This was good. This was a good experience because you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I was pleasantly surprised, Brie, because it's nice to know that there is a 23-year-old out there that I would say to myself, you know what? My future and my care and my finances, there are people out there that it's going to be in good hands.
No.
You seem very responsible. You seem like you got your head on straight. So it's nice to hear. It's nice to hear someone that actually is 23, but sounds like she's 83.
I think sometimes the older generation worries a little bit about the priorities of the younger generation. And I don't mean that to be rude at all. I think because we grew up in a different time, that I think that we worry about that. And to hear you talk, I totally am with you, Brian, because to hear you talk, Brie, it's like you are focused and you are centered and sounds like you're very smart. And, it's not just, we just sometimes see some of these entitled electronic age kids. Mm-hmm. It does. I'm agreeing with you about that. There's hope with people like you out there, Brie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I completely agree with that. You guys will outlive us all.
Well, Brie, I would like to thank you for coming on. If
Absolutely.
you have any other last questions or comments you'd like to make, we'd be absolutely happy to hear them now.
Well, I just want to say it was a pleasure talking to you guys. I feel like it was just a great conversation. It was really uplifting to hear that you guys think, I'm ahead of my times. I always think I'm like this ditzy, like dumb, like 23-year-old. So like hearing what you guys like had to say and just talking with you guys was a lot of fun. So thank you guys for having me.
Oh, thank you so much.
We love having you.
We appreciate it. And for the record, I never did see your scripts or your grades, so you could be ditzy. I don't know, but you come off really mature.
You make a really good, solid impression. Yeah.
That's right.
And that's important.
It is, yeah, for sure.
All right, kids. Brie, once again, thank you so much. We really applaud you for coming on. It takes a lot of bravery to come on here and be open. And yes, absolutely. If you got any floozy friends that want to come on, tell them to sign up.
I'll let them know.
Sounds great.
All right. Have a great night, everyone.
Okay.
You take care. Everybody take care. Dee, once again, thank you for everything.
Bye.
Bye. So that's our show for today. Thank you so much to Brie for coming on the show and putting up with our questions and giving us an open and honest view of your life and your perspectives. It was a lot of fun. We want to give a special thanks to our producer, Dee, and we want to thank you, our listeners. You make what we do so much more fun. Reach out to us anytime on our email, 2.5chickspod@gmail.com. We want to hear from you, whether it's your feedback or topic suggestions, or do you want to be a guest on our show? That would be so much fun. We love guests. Always find out when we're going to be posting on Instagram at 2.5chicks. And please keep checking back because we have so much more coming your way. Content, guests. It's going to be a blast. Talk to you soon.